My name is Madison. I'm 32 years old, and birthdays have always been bittersweet for me. Growing up, they weren't really a celebration in my family. They were more like a competition. If I got a nice dress, my sister Nicole would find one better. If I had a small gathering, she'd throw something bigger for herself or her daughter, Haley. It was never just about cake or balloons, it was always about proving who mattered more. This year, though, I wanted something different. I had just paid off my car loan and gotten a small raise at work, so I thought, why not treat myself? I booked a reservation at a cozy little restaurant in downtown Denver, a place I'd always wanted to try but felt guilty about spending the money on. I even bought myself a navy blue silk dress. It wasn't extravagant, but it was the most I'd ever spent on clothing. When I tried it on in the mirror, I almost didn't recognize myself. Confident, elegant, like someone finally stepping into her own skin. When I walked into the restaurant that night, I felt good. Really good. My friends hugged me, the staff greeted me warmly, and for once, I allowed myself to believe that this birthday might actually feel like mine. But then Nicole walked in. She was, of course, 20 minutes late, clicking her heels across the floor like she was making an entrance to a movie premiere. Behind her trailed Haley, her 19-year-old daughter, glued to her phone until she spotted me. Then came the smirk. Haley has been told she's beautiful her whole life, and she knows it. That kind of constant attention has made her sharp, sometimes cruel. She's the kind of girl who can destroy you with a single comment and then pretend she was just joking. I knew that look on her face the second she sat down. It was the look that meant trouble. You're really going all out tonight, huh, Maddie? Haley's voice dripped with sarcasm as she glanced at my dress. That looks expensive. Who are you trying to impress? I forced a smile, even though my cheeks burned. It's my birthday, Haley. I just wanted to wear something nice. Nicole didn't step in to stop her. She just chuckled into her glass of wine, as if mocking me alongside her daughter. It wasn't new. My sister has always let Haley say things to me that she herself would never dare put into words. Still, I tried to push through. I focused on the food, on the laughter of my friends, on the warmth of the candlelight. By the time dessert came out, a little chocolate mousse with a single candle, I almost convinced myself I was overthinking it. Maybe this night could still be salvaged. And then it happened. As the waiter set down the dessert and everyone started singing, Haley leaned back in her chair, swirling the pink cocktail in her glass. With a deliberate flick of her wrist, the drink spilled forward, cascading directly into my lap. The cold liquid soaked through the silk instantly, spreading dark stains across the fabric. Gasps filled the table. My hands froze, hovering above the mess as Haley tilted her head and said, loud enough for everyone around us to hear, "Now you look as cheap as you really are." The restaurant fell into silence. I could feel strangers' eyes on me, waiting to see how I would react. My sister let out a nervous laugh, as if it were some kind of joke. My friends looked horrified, fumbling with napkins, but I couldn't move. I just sat there, trembling, staring at the ruined dress I had worked so hard to buy. It wasn't just fabric that got stained, it was my dignity. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. For the first time in my life, I decided I wasn't going to let this go. When I excused myself to the bathroom that night, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely push open the door. Inside, I stood in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection. The navy blue silk dress that had once made me feel proud and beautiful was now clinging to me, stained dark from the cocktail Haley had so casually tossed. I pressed a wad of paper towels against the fabric, but the more I tried, the worse it looked. The coldness of the liquid had already seeped through, leaving me shivering and humiliated. My throat tightened, and before I knew it, tears were slipping down my cheeks. But it wasn't just about the dress. It was about years of moments just like this one. I thought back to when I was 25, helping Nicole pay her rent after she lost her job. She had promised to pay me back, but she never did. Instead, she laughed about how lucky I was to not have kids, how I could afford to throw money around. I thought about Haley, the countless times I had driven her to college tours or babysat her when Nicole wanted a night out. I had listened to her drama, offered her advice, tried to be the supportive aunt. And how did she repay me? By smirking at me in public and calling me cheap. Standing in that bathroom, it was like all the times I had swallowed my pride, all the times I had let their comments slide, came crashing down on me at once. I didn't deserve this. When I finally wiped my eyes and walked back out, the room was buzzing again, my friends whispering, Nicole pretending like nothing had happened, and Haley scrolling through her phone as if she hadn't just humiliated me in front of a full restaurant. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I sat down calmly and told the waiter to pack up my dessert to go. Everyone looked at me, confused, waiting for the explosion. But my voice was steady. Dinner's over. I'll see you both soon. Nicole blinked at me. Maddie, don't be so dramatic. But I just smiled. I'm not being dramatic. I'm just done. And that was it. I stood, collected my things, and walked out of the restaurant, leaving the mess behind me. The cold night air hit me like a slap, but it was sobering. My heart was still racing, but for the first time in years, I wasn't just walking away hurt, I was walking away with a plan. Because here's the thing, my sister and her daughter had spent years treating me like I was beneath them, as if I should just accept the role of the quiet, dependable one. But what they didn't realize was that I had been paying attention. I knew things about them that they didn't think I would ever use. Like the fact that Nicole's promotion at work was a lie, she'd actually been put on probation after a client complained. Or that Haley had been posting photos of herself drinking at parties online, even though she was underage and supposedly on a responsible student scholarship. They thought I was weak. They thought I'd never push back. But as I walked to my car that night, the humiliation in my chest hardened into something else. Resolve. I wasn't going to scream or fight them in public. I wasn't going to let them see me cry. I was going to remind them that words and actions have consequences. And this time, I was the one holding the cards. In the days after my ruined birthday dinner, I went quiet. Nicole called once, leaving a voicemail that sounded half apologetic, half dismissive. You know Haley didn't mean it like that, Maddie. Don't make this into a big deal. I didn't call her back. I didn't text Haley either, though she posted on Instagram the next day, a selfie at brunch with her friends captioned, "Messy nights make the best memories." In the corner of the photo was the same cocktail she had dumped in my lap. She was laughing, glowing, acting like nothing had happened. I wasn't surprised. That's how they always treated me. Like the dull one in the background, the one who would clean up their messes and still show up smiling. But not this time. I started with Nicole. She had been parading around for months bragging about her promotion at the marketing firm where she worked. At every family gathering, she'd mention it, making little digs about how I was still at the same company I'd been at for 8 years, as if stability was something to mock. The truth? I knew from a mutual friend that Nicole hadn't been promoted at all. She'd been put on probation after mishandling a big client account. Her boss had given her one last chance to prove herself. So I did what Nicole would never expect me to do. I used her own carelessness against her. One evening, I created a new email address and attached a few screenshots I had quietly saved from Haley's public Instagram, photos of her holding bottles, red plastic cups in hand, clearly drunk at parties. In some of them, her sorority tagged her directly. She was only 19, and she had a scholarship that depended on her maintaining a responsible image. I didn't write a long message. I didn't add drama. I simply sent the screenshots to Nicole's boss with a short line. Thought you should see what your senior account manager's family is up to. Not exactly on brand for your company's values. And then, separately, I forwarded those same photos to the dean of Haley's college with a subject line that read, "For review, Scholarship Students' Public Conduct." It was almost frightening how easy it was. I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to twist the truth. All I did was hold up a mirror to the lives they were already living. 2 weeks later, I heard the first crack. Nicole called me in tears late at night. Her voice was panicked, shaky. "Maddie, they suspended me. HR said they've been keeping an eye on me, and now they're saying I'm not fit to represent the company. I don't know what to do. I need help." I sat in silence, letting her words wash over me. For years, I had been her safety net. Whenever Nicole stumbled, I caught her. Whenever she cried, I comforted her. But not anymore. I can't help you this time, Nicole, I said softly. You made your choices. She went quiet. I could almost hear her processing the shift in me. She wasn't speaking to the sister who used to bend over backward. She was speaking to someone who finally decided she was done. Days later, Haley's turn came. Word spread quickly that her scholarship had been put under review. Her carefully curated social media presence had turned into a liability, and her mother couldn't bail her out, not while drowning in her own suspension. When Haley texted me, "Did you do this?" I didn't reply. Because here's the truth, I didn't need to. The silence was louder than any denial or confession. I let them sit in the consequences of their actions, the same way they had left me sitting in humiliation at that restaurant. And for the first time, I didn't feel like the powerless one in the family anymore. I felt like someone who had finally taken her dignity back. After the storm settled, silence took its place. Nicole stopped calling me altogether. At family gatherings, she made excuses not to attend. Haley unfollowed me on every social platform, as though cutting me off digitally could erase what had happened in real life. At first, I felt a twinge of guilt. I'm human, after all. I asked myself over and over, did I go too far? The voice of the old Madison whispered that maybe I should have let it go, that maybe I should have been the bigger person. But then I remembered sitting at that dinner table, soaked in liquor, with Haley's smirk burning into me while my sister laughed under her breath. I remembered how small I felt, how voiceless. And I realized something important. I hadn't gone too far. I had finally gone just far enough. The fallout for them was messy. Nicole's suspension turned into something more permanent. She lost her biggest clients, and without steady income, she struggled to keep up her lifestyle. Haley's scholarship was put on probation, and although she wasn't expelled, her reputation at school took a hit she couldn't charm her way out of. But the real shift wasn't in their lives. It was in mine. For the first time in years, I stopped walking on eggshells around my family. I stopped waiting for approval that was never going to come. Instead, I poured my time into the people who had always been there for me, my friends, my coworkers, the quiet few in my life who celebrated me without tearing me down. A month later, I treated myself again. I walked into a boutique downtown and bought another dress. This one was emerald green, fitted but elegant, the kind of thing that made me straighten my shoulders when I tried it on. When I wore it out to brunch with friends, they complimented me, and this time, I didn't deflect with a joke or brush it off. I smiled and said, "Thank you," because I finally believed it. And here's the twist that surprised even me. Revenge wasn't about making them miserable. That was just the surface. What really mattered was that I reclaimed the part of me they had chipped away at for years. The quiet confidence, the belief that I deserved better, the courage to set boundaries. A week after that brunch, I bumped into Nicole at the grocery store. She looked tired, worn down, her hair pulled back without care. For a moment, our eyes met, and I saw a flicker of something, maybe regret, maybe anger, maybe both. She opened her mouth like she was going to speak, but I just smiled politely, pushed my cart past her, and kept walking. I didn't need her apology anymore. I didn't need her validation. I didn't need anything from her. And that's when I knew the revenge was complete. Because true revenge isn't just watching someone fall. It's rising while they finally see they can't drag you down anymore. When I look back on my 32nd birthday now, I don't remember the stain on my navy dress. I don't remember the silence of the restaurant or the sting of Haley's words. I remember the shift. The moment humiliation turned into power. The moment I decided that I wasn't going to let anyone, not even family, define my worth. That night was supposed to break me. Instead, it became the night I finally broke free. And in a strange way, I'll always see it as the best birthday gift I ever gave myself.